So family, let's talk about trauma. The male is responsible for the gender of his offspring. The male would give his female counterpart whether a Y or whether an X chromosome, and she would in turn take that what she's give to her and create the baby. So if he give a Y, he gets a son. If he give an X, then he would get a daughter. That is what the man is responsible for. Man is also responsible for the trauma that is passed down from generation to generation, from ancestors to ancestor. Be careful who you have children with. If they have trauma, do not let your children go through that. Be careful who you have children with. We all have epigenetic markers that is encoded in our DNA, right? And is passed down from generation to generation, up to 15 to 20 generations. This trauma is passed down 15 to 20 generations. You understand? The actual memories are coming through RNA on the father's side. So the trauma is coming from the father's side through his RNA. These are scientific facts. So by these men in the Bible understanding these things, right? And the melanated people being into slavery, right? And the abuse and the trauma that they went through slavery. It passed on generation to generation. So sometimes you see people and they're angry and they don't, they have a happy life and they're just angry. Yeah, generational trauma. A lot of people call it generational curse for what happened, but it's just like trauma from one ancestor come down to 15 generations. So when they say that the melanated people would be going into slavery for 400 years. Yep. Yeah. So during slavery, these people imprinted, this trauma, this abuse into our person. And as we go, we pass on that trauma onto the next generation until we will sit to ourselves and say, but I know this guy, we have to break this shit. We have to go within and heal all this trauma from within and realize, no, we have to put an end to this thing. You have to go within and say, but I know I was abused, but I decided for myself. This shit will not happen to my children. This is what y'all need to do. Y'all heal yourself. You went through a trauma, and you have to decide that your children will not go through that same trauma with you. Yeah, so when the Bible says you train a child in the way he should grow, it wasn't talking about, it was talking about the trauma. You train the child, beat them like a slave. That's why a lot of the melanated people, all they know is abuse and they want to inflict that same abuse on children. I don't beat my child, no, I do not beat her. Just one look and she know how we go. Yeah. Passed on trauma. So you have to, if beating is how you, or if beating is how you train your child, there's other ways to punish a child than to do as the slave masters did to us. Definitely. Yeah, so because all we know is trauma, beating. That's what we do to our children. We beat them like they owe us money. And that is generational and ancestral, passed down from father to father, father to child, father to child, father to child. Yep. You have to break free from that. You have to break free from that. You have to do some deep soul searching. This, especially for the men, you all have to do some deep soul searching. Because a woman can't pass on this. This shit is encoded in your DNA, men. This is encoded in your DNA. You all are responsible for the trauma that is passed on generation to generation. That's why the jails are filled with the men, you know. Because they don't have any outlet to release all that trauma. And the people them that is in charge, don't want you to heal from that trauma. So when you get an outlet to release that trauma, the least thing they do, they lock you up in a cage. That is not how you get over doing something, being locked in a cage. You have to rewrite your DNA. Come to the soul realization that this is not your trauma. You have to break free. You're not responsible for what your ancestors do. So you break free by the words you speak, by the actions you do. I myself hated that shit when I was smaller. Mom used to beat us. Because she didn't know any better. She used to beat us, you know? And I hated that shit. I hated it like every fiber of my being. And I refused to partake and to be a victim. Yeah, and I had a son. How it would be for me to imprint that shit on my son, beat him like he, you know, and then he would now take that shit and pass it down to his children. No. Yes, woman, we have to stop abusing these young men, and these young men need to know how to heal from these trauma, because they're responsible for the trauma within our communities. Yep. And most times you see these young, handsome, melanated men make it in life. They have everything they ever wanted. They have good jobs, they have businesses, they have beautiful family. But then in the back, they're like depressed, angry. You know? They're not happy, you know? And you want to know, why am I not happy? Why am I always so angry? Generational trauma. Generational trauma. Yeah. How you go in the physical, having everything you need, but yet you're not happy and you're depressed. Generational trauma. And that is what is going on with the pale people now, you know. The trauma. They are the most medicated. They are the most hospitalized. They're the most crazy generational fucking trauma for what they're doing. Generational trauma. Yeah, they're just dying off. These pale people. For all they did, the trauma coming down upon them. Yep. Yeah. This is why a lot of the melanated men are just angry. It's generational trauma. And we as melanated women, we need to assist them along in this. You know? Help them heal. You have to break free from these things. If you want to heal. Because everybody want to heal. Yeah. men pass down the trauma. Scientifically proven they are responsible for the trauma. So shall it be, we rise.